Coming up on this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show, we get you set and ready for Impact Wrestling presents Hard to Kill. But this is the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Predict the Outcome for Hard to Kill 2021. As we predict the matches, the match cards, the predictions, and the results. So we'll have a lot of that, and we'll have small Impact news as well. All this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show presents Predict the Outcome for Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill start right now. Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents Impact Wrestling Predict the Outcome for Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill is the first pay-per-view of Impact Wrestling. But first thing first, join the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling Show here on Connect. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is care. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here. Like I said, Pro Wrestling Show, we make pro wrestling content for you, the audience out there, the pro wrestling audience, because that's what it is. Wrestling matters. And we thank you all once again. All right, so we got a lot to get to. 8 spectacular matches on the Hard to Kill card. Impact Wrestling presents its first pay-per-view of 2021 with a small inter-promotional match during the 6-man tag team match, the main event, but we'll get to that. Alright, so let's get started with the Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill Predict the Outcome here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Alright, so the first match will be determined who will be the next and new Women's Knockout Tag Team Champions. We'll find out Hard to Kill as it'll be the tournament final between Havoc and Nevaeh going against Tasha Steele and Kiera Hogan. These two teams have went so far down the journey. This all started when Impact Wrestling announced that they was bringing back the Women's Knockout Tag Team titles. I guess they're bringing back to akin to the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Well, these women have paid a lot of dues to get to this point, but one person, two people will become the next Impact Women's Tag Team Knockout Champions. And I remember when Impact first introduced it way back when, a couple of years ago. I remember Taylor Wilde and Sonata. That was a good team back in the day. Awesome Kong and somebody else, I think she was a knockout champion. So it's coming back to fruition. I guess Gail Kim would be the brains of that. So they went through, these two teams went through teams such as legendary Jazz and Jordy Grace, Taya Valkyrie, and Rosemary. So Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele has been a phenomenal force as of late. So, and Havoc and Nevaeh. So it comes down to them two teams. So I look for Havoc and Nevaeh to win the Women's Knockout Tag Team Champions. So it'll be the first of this era to win the reintroduced Women's Tag Team Knockout Champions. So it'll be a good look for them. Also, Eddie Edwards renews his rivalry with Sami Callihan. These two have been fighting ever since that time when Eddie Edwards got his eye hit by a bat by Sami Callihan way back when. Now the rivalry renewed once again with now Sami Callihan targeting Eddie and his wife Alicia Edwards and stuff. So Eddie, Sami Callihan has a new backup, a new enforcer, Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous man, in his corner. So can Sami Callihan put this pass behind him over Eddie Edwards to get this monkey out of his back? But wait and see. But I look at Sami Callihan winning the match due to the help and interference of Ken Shamrock. So look for that in that match. Also, Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K goes one-on-one against Rosemary and Crazy Steve. This match was made this past week on Impact after I think there was some match going on between Tennille Dashwood and Rosemary. It's Rosemary and Tennille to stick her nose in her business. Well, we'll find out when there be an intergender match between the two, and Rosemary relying on her former decade tag team partner, Crazy Steve. Look for Rosemary and Crazy Steve to win that one. So ain't nothing to say about that. Tennille Dashwood, who was Emma, better known as being her Emma personality from WWE way back when. So Caleb K getting the rub off her and stuff. Also, the Knockouts Championship is on the line as Deonna Purrazzo, the Knockouts champion, the Versarosa, goes one-on-one against former Knockouts champion Ty Baszler. Now, this match was declared last week on Impact when Ty has made this stunning promo that she won the Knockouts Championship way all back. And Deonna Purrazzo brushed her off. Well, now the time to talk is over. It's time to go time. So this past week, I think Rosemary, Ty was in a match against Deonna Purrazzo's associate Kimberly. That came out the blows, but Susie, Sue Young, and Susie, whatever you want to call it, she turns up to Susan, and she helped with things for Deonna Purrazzo. So look for Deonna Purrazzo getting help from Susan as her way to keep her championship, her Knockouts title and stuff. Also, Manic goes one-on-one. Well, Manic defends the championship in a triple threat match against Chris Bay and Rohit Raju. Chris Bay and Rohit Raju, they want to be X Division champion, but they still think that TJP is Manic. They don't have to they can't find a way, but they want to pinpoint that that's you. But TJP assumes that he's not in the match whatsoever. He thinks Manic and him are two separate people. But Chris Bay and Rohit Raju think otherwise. So look for Manic to retain his X Division championship over Chris Bay and Rohit Raju in that triple threat match for the X Division title. Also, the Karate Man. Wow! The Karate Man, who is Ethan Page's alter ego. Ethan Page goes one-on-one against his alter ego, the Karate Man. Now, there's been rumors and reports about Ethan Page's status in Impact Wrestling. Ethan Page been mum about it, but the Karate Man and him had that little fight at on the Ethan Page YouTube channel, but I guess Ethan Page lost, so he gets his redemption over the Karate Man one-on-one. Ethan Page been losing his mind, losing the grip of reality as of lately. So now he goes one-on-one against his alter ego, the Karate Man, who wants his place and wants his spot. So I would like to say both men win, it'd be a draw or something. But look for Ethan Page. I would want to hope Ethan Page pulls this one over the Karate Man and send the Karate Man back to YouTube. So look for that in that instance. Also, a huge 6-man tag team match, but it's not the main event, but it's old school rules, which that means is Screen rules, but they had to make it old school rules, where Eric Young with Diener and Joe Dory takes on Cousin Jake, Rhino, and Tommy Dreamer. Now, Rhino and Tommy Dreamer know a thing or two about the Screen rules, old school rules, as of late being in ECW. But Eric Young knows a thing or two about that too, because he's been in wild, barbaric matches as well. Well, the other Joe Doran, he's known, but I don't know of him like that. But I heard a lot of things about him in New Japan and stuff. Well, these 6 men want to get down and get barbaric and get dangerous and get a Scream. But that's the way they like doing it in the Scream rules version of Impact old school rules. The backstory is Cousin Jake got betrayed by Cody Diener. Cody Diener got brainwashed by Eric Young. Eric Young kept brainwashing him, and Cody Diener believed every hype that Eric Young was talking about. Cody Diener believed everything Eric Young was saying, the gospel truth. And Eric Young brainwashed him, turned on his cousin. Joe Dory got problems with Rhino, and Eric Young and Tommy Dreamer got along. No love lost there. So look for the crazy manic team and dangerous team of Eric Young, Joe Doran, and Diener emerge victorious in this match. That's what it's going to be going forward. But that's where I can see it and stuff. Also, finally the main event of Hard to Kill will be for a huge 6-man tag as the Kennel Mega, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, teams up with his fellow good brothers, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. Yeah, they're going to team together, the super elite, or whatever you want to call them, with Don Callis in their corner. The Impact's EP goes against Rich Swann, the Impact World Champion, and the Motor City Machine Guns, the former tag team champions, in a huge 6-man tag team match. This all came about when AEW champion Kennel Mega invaded Impact Wrestling. After he won his world title not Impact, but AEW, he decided that him and Don Callis was going to take a visit to Impact Wrestling to give people the answers that they needed. And they was in a bus. Josh Matthews commentated, asked the questions that everyone wanted to know. They came being mum about it, and Don Callis talking about he being the invisible hand, that no one did see this coming and stuff. So lead to next week when Ken Omega came and talked to Carl Anderson, one half of the Impact Tag Team Champions, and told him, go out there and prove me something. He went out there against one of the Motor City Machine Guns, beat him out cleanly by cheating. And then Rich Swann asked him, why did you do what you did? And, Anderson brushed him off. And next thing you know, a brawl ensued between all 6 men. Omega came out of nowhere and hit Swann with a chair. And Dark House made the match. They made the 6-man tag team match for Hard to Kill as the main event. So we're here now. Who's going to emerge victorious? The AEW champion meets the Impact champion across the ring in a huge 6-man tag team match with former Impact tag team champions Motor City Machine Guns in AEW in Rich Swann corner, the Impact tag team champions in Ken Omega's corner, the Good Brothers. It's no big of a deal. And as you saw this past week on Impact, they continued to brawl. They continued to brawl. And I mean, they continued to brawl and left nothing to the imagination. So look for the AEW champion Ken Omega and the Impact Tag Team champions, the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows, winning the match and beating up Swann and the Machine Guns. So that's it. All right, that ends the Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill. Let's move on to a small bit of tidbit news on what's going on. We found out that Double J Jeff Jarrett, the former founder of Impact Wrestling, had reached a settlement with his Anthem. Now we know that Anthem and Impact had a working relationship with Jeff Jarrett. They couldn't come to terms. They fired Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett claimed they was using GFW, using the library, using the name, and they just came to an agreement and settlement. Jeff Jarrett took him to court, settled, and got his money, and he's on his way. So with that, also Ethan Page, we don't know what the whereabouts, what his next move is. We'll find out more on Hard to Kill, what his next move gonna be after he goes 1-on-1 against the Karate Man. Plus, this just in, we had got word and confirmation from Impact Wrestling that Josh Matthews, the lead commentator for Impact Wrestling, after 6 years, has decided to leave the broadcast position to now take a new position as his executive producer of all Impact shows and pay-per-view. Well, this leaves a gap for Matthews and his wife, Baszler, who was filling in commentary, while Don Callis
went to commentary somewhere else. Well, now Impact has announced that starting at Hard to Kill pay-per-view, that Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown are the new color commentators of Impact Wrestling. Yes, Matt Striker will be the new play-by-play guy of Impact Wrestling. So happy for Matt Striker. He has experience. He was in WWE as a color commentator on SmackDown and ECW. And he went to Lucha Underground and became his play-by-play announcer. Well, I would love Matt to be a color commentator, but I'm happy for him to get this chance to now lead Impact Wrestling as his lead commentator. And same as D'Lo Brown. What expertise D'Lo Brown had that he was once had WWE experience doing the Sunday Night Heat pre-shows. So this is a new array of energy and excitement, and like Josh Matthews and them said, D'Lo and Matt Striker are ready to go. Been a long time for Matt Striker. Let's see if he can get back on the gear, and let's see. That's what news we talk about.
Sam Callahan resigns with Impact Wrestling, so he's staying with Impact Wrestling, which is a good look. So I don't think WWE or maybe AEW might be interested in him, but he wants to stay with Impact and stuff. So I guess that's it. That says it. All right. Thank you all for watching. We hope you watch Hard to Kill, as we be watching Hard to Kill to see if any of the predictions and the results came true in the outcomes. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. I will see you at Impact's Hard to Kill. See you later.